Ok, bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, on parle des adjectifs possessifs. Okay, so to refer to something in English, to give you a starting point, possessives are things that show someone owning or possessing something. So in English, possessives like my, his, their, our, and that kind of stuff. These are all possessives. What's important to know in French is that just like in English, these words are all adjectives. So that means that they are going to follow the rules that you already know about adjectives. Is that, for one thing, they agree with what they describe. They agree with whatever is possessed. Whatever is owned or possessed is feminine. Well, the adjective is going to be feminine as well. Same thing for plural. So the first thing that you must do, and I can't do anything for you, for that is to memorize these adjectives. And on this slide right here, you have all of them. Okay, so the one that we have seen with the family tree is mon, ma, mes, to show that it belongs to me. Okay, mon père, ma mère, mes grands-parents, for example. Okay, and then the rest of the chart right here shows you the other possessives, the one that belongs to you, second person of the singular, informal. Okay, ton, ta, tes. Then the next one is interesting. Son, sa, se belongs to him, to her, or to it. We don't really know who it is, just looking at son, sa, se, because in French, son goes with a masculine, like son oncle, son frère, son père. Ça goes with a feminine, like sa sœur, sa mère, sa cousine, sa grand-mère. And then se goes with whatever is plural, like ses grands-parents, ses tantes, ses cousines, ses cousins. So these ones, you gotta be careful, because in French, the form that you choose, son, sa, or se, depends on what is owned, not on who owns that thing or person. Okay, so you gotta be careful about this. The next three are easier, because the masculine and the feminine are the same. So notre, no for our. You probably recognize notre right here with the Notre Dame, Notre Dame. That means Our Lady. We've seen that before. Votre, and vos. Not surprising. It looks a little bit like notre, votre, right? And then leur. No change in pronunciation for that one, but just an S for the plural. Okay. Just to make sure we get that, the placement of these possessives is similar to English. It comes right before the noun, right? So let me just read the example here. C'est ton père? Is that your father? Non, c'est mon oncle. Voici notre mère. Here is our mother. And then ce sont tes livres. Are these your books? Okay, so they are placed before the noun, they modify. What you should remember, like I told you that before, these are adjectives. They function like every other adjective in French, so they modify a noun and they agree with it. So frère goes with mon frère because it's masculine. Ma sœur, ma, we use the feminine here because feminine, sœur is feminine. Okay, ton chat, ta nièce, tes cousines, same idea. Now what we have to remember is that there's two ways to say you in French. We know that there's the formal and the informal way, tu and vous, right? So if you talk about something that belongs to someone that you address informally, then you're going to use ton, ta, or tes. Okay, like tu parles à tes amis, do you speak to your friends? Okay, but then if you were to address me or someone with the polite form, then there's a polite possessive as well, which is the votre, vos one. Okay, so vous parlez à vos amis, do you speak to your friends? Same meaning right here, but you can see that the address is formal, not only because of vous, but also because of vos, V-O-S, the possessive. Okay? I pointed out the fact that we have just two forms for notre, votre, and leur one for the singular and one for the plural. So notre and nos, leur and leur, votre and vos. That's the different one. Now, maybe the most important, difficult maybe thing to see is to not forget that if mon, ton, or son is with a vowel, it is with a feminine, it becomes ma, ta, and sa. Okay, that's the feminine form of it. However, And look at the bottom right here. If the noun that is feminine starts with a vowel, we're going to use the mon, ton, son form in order to make it more smooth. Because mon ami sounds so much smoother than ma amie. Same for ton école is so much better than ta école, and son histoire so much better than sa histoire. Okay, so that's an important thing. So we're gonna use mon, ton, son in front of a vowel feminine noun in the singular. Okay, in the plural it's gonna be me, te, and se without a problem. Okay, now just a reminder, adjectives in French agree with what comes after, what it describes. Okay, so be careful. If you have an expression like son frère, right, you might be tempted to think that it means his brother because son is masculine looking, right? But the reason why son is masculine is because frère is masculine. So it doesn't say anything about his or her or its brother. We don't know what it is unless we have some context. Okay? So if you look at the sentences below, here we have some context. J'aime Nadine, mais je n'aime pas son frère. I like Nadine, but I don't like her brother. Okay? So son means her right here because it's Nadine's brother. So you can see that French and English do not work the same way. Okay? Just something related to possession that is not related to the possessive adjectives though, is to show possession using the preposition de, de, de. Okay? So de can mean of, okay? So if you say, for example, c'est le petit ami d'Elisabeth, it's Elizabeth's boyfriend. In French, it's the same as the translation as in English. It is the boyfriend of Elizabeth. In English, you have this fancy way of expressing possession with an apostrophe S or an S apostrophe. In French, it's impossible to do that. We always have to use the de or the apostrophe. So, c'est le petit ami de ma sœur. It is the boyfriend of my sister, or my sister's boyfriend. Okay. Tu aimes la cousine de Thierry? Do you like Thierry's cousin or the cousin of Thierry? Okay. And then the last one, j'ai l'adresse de ses parents. I have the address of his parents. So it's funny because the apostrophe S is very foreign for French people when they study English, and even for me sometimes I'm more tempted to say something of someone instead of using that apostrophe in English, although it doesn't sound as smooth. So that is interesting. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about is that the preposition, if it is next to le, it cannot stand like this. De and le have to become du, du. Okay? So l'opinion du grand-père est importante. Du, it's l'opinion de le grand-père, but the de and the le fused into du. You see that? Now, if you have an L apostrophe, that stays separate. It's only with le and les that is going to just change. So le nom de l'oiseau doesn't change, stays separated. But de and le grand-père here, you see, it became du. Same thing happens between between de and les. Okay, de and les becomes des. So la fille des voisins, it's the daughter of the neighbors de les voisins that became des. Okay, right here, j'ai le nouvel album de la chanteuse, no fusion, because the fusion or assimilation happens only between de and le, and de and les. So be careful about that. Okay, so I hope that helps. That's one recording. I hope you have watched the other recording or will watch it right now to get a fuller picture of this concept.